We are vastly superior to humans. You know it to be true, so do not resist us. Coming to you live by a tape-delayed basis by means of digital distribution. This is Extreme Hardcore Nerds. Here are your hosts.
Ready, set, game on.
Welcome back. It is now time for us to do our reviews.
Marvel now.
And on the chopping block this week, we have Persona 4 Arena, played by the Dark Reaper himself.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Just as fun as Risen 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just about as much fun.
Oh, that hurts me.
Wait, is this
It's
on
so much
PS3?
more fun that
What
it
is
didn't
this on PS3?
that it didn't piss me off.
Wait, Persona, what genre?
It's RPG.
It's
Well,
fighter.
This one is.
Yeah.
Persona's.
Okay, so
It is
since
RPG.
clearly everybody else wants to do this review, Gunner, Garrett,
No,
I
I heard Persona, but I was like, is it RPG one or is this a?
this is a fighter.
Oh, so it sucks. Okay.
Okay, so now that I can explain myself,
Right away, it's a fighter. It sucks.
yeah. Okay, so this comes from, as many fans already know, it comes from the Shin Megami Tensei, the Persona 1, specifically from that line.
Which I'm still so confused how that works.
If you let me continue.
Maybe if you would shut your
Coming
ass
from-
up for a couple seconds.
Coming from the publishers of Atlas, who I know most of us have all heard of. This new one, of course, continuing their trend of just proving once again that they can just take one of their beloved franchises and genres and just throw it or do something completely side off in the difference. Our last one that we got from them was Catherine,
Which is great.
a puzzle
and
platforming game that,
awesome.
of course, is never known from them. And this series also, which has mostly been known for its JRPG and style gameplay, just decided, today we're going to make a fighter out of it. And that's exactly what they did. Teaming up with Arc Systems, with most of you know of, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, is their hot button franchises, decided to come in and take up and put all their knowledge and know-how to give us Persona 4 Arena. If you have played a Blaze Blue game or a Guilty Gear game, it has a lot of the same mechanics to it, so you'll see some of the same button combinations and things like that, as well as the same kind of presentation for how they set up all the modes. The game comes with 8 specific modes, starting off with our first mode of the story mode, and this is where the Persona guys get into their whole phase for how they do things. Now, if you know of the Persona's titles, they are storybooks. And they have no problem being that. They flesh out their stories very well. There's dialogue all over the place. And this game is no exception to that rule. In story mode, you will pick from the first roster of 4 characters. And it is the returning team for Persona 4 with a few people from Persona 3 sprinkled in there. And you'll get to choose from Yusuke, Yu, or Chia. And I believe Teddy first? No, not Teddy. Kanji, I think. And you can choose from those 4. And you basically play through a story mode from their perspective, from whichever one you choose. And with that going on, it is a lot of button pressing. So you will be reading out a fully developed story from start to finish, and it takes place, I think, 2 months after the events of Persona 4. So, what's up, Gunner?
Well, how important is it to play Persona 4 if it takes 2 months
You
after?
you don't need to play Persona 4 very in depthly. It's more kind of that if you want to continue the story, this does have it.
Okay, but if you're
So,
going into this straight in...
If you're going to this straight in, you can still go into the story mode and get everything you want out of it if you want to. You don't necessarily have to, but that'll come in when I have my talk about some of the other modes and certain people's issues with them. So I did play with another person. We did play through every Burst story mode for the first time around, and I'd say between average, there are only maybe about 4, maybe 5 fights in the story mode that you'll go through. So it is more drawn out about its story than it is about the fights. And I'd say about an average 10, maybe 20 minutes between each fight of story mode. You do not have to completely worry about that. All the characters are fully voiced, so they will read out their lines. The only time that they do not read their lines is always during internal monologues. So, this is done in its old classic style of all hand-drawn animations, and everything looks great and gorgeous, as you could expect from the Arch guys and the Blaze Boot and just the Atlas team at large. All of the animations are really well done. All of the characters are very balanced, which is really strange for a fighting game right out of the gate. Usually there's always an upset to that, but every character is very different from one another. Their play styles are different, and they're all character specific to how you would think they would play from their RPG games. Chia is one of the characters I chose. She's more of a close-up fighter, and she always uses her feet, so all of her attacks are generally feet-based. So you'll notice that for her playstyle. Yu uses a sword for his playstyle, and all of his based attacks will usually be long to mid-range to short-range attacks. So I did like and enjoy that for how they played that all up. Another one of the other modes, if you're just wanting to get into the combat right away and don't really need to worry about your story elements, you can go straight to arcade mode, which just puts you right into the fights with a little bit of story. But once again, it's all skippable, so you don't have to really go into depth. That'll take you through each of the fights, and it gives you a chance to go through everything. As with all fighting games nowadays, a lot of people are not hardcore fighter fans or aren't those kinds of people that really can figure out all the button combinations and crazy stuff. Well, the game does take all of you into account for that with tutorials in the lessons mode, as well as a challenge mode that gives you a full roster of all the moves the characters can perform and all the combinations that you can put together to string up the long-winded combos and understand all the characters' intricate parts. I will say that for those parts, they do also add in another feature, kind of just like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which you've probably heard of, with just the simple one-button combos. So you can just string together the first set, and it is the weaker of the first set of string of combos, but it kind of gets you into the role of figuring out your timing and frame counting. So that's actually pretty helpful. Plus, if you're just one of those players that really doesn't know how to multitask like that, you can just hit that button repeatedly, and it will perform the combo out for you, leading into an ultra combo. So you can still play with the intermediate and advanced players if you want to get a chance in there. Moving over, I did play one level of online co-op because the first couple of days out, I did hear from the net that there were certain issues, and this will make Andrew happy. It was Xbox that had the biggest issue because apparently something was wrong with the netcode, so people were having issues with localization play and couldn't quite set up the matches well. There were some, between both systems, there were some slight lag issues, but they were apparently resolved within a couple of hours, and everything did work out perfectly fine. So, yay, Sony! You guys get
we
it
got
right.
one right.
You get it right the first time with you. Yeah. I can jump over. One of the last modes is Score Attack, and I noticed a lot of people were saying that, of course, the game was fairly easy, or it was really simple to just get with that one button press combo to get through the lot of story modes. If you want that challenge, go to Score Attack. I could not beat the first level of Score Attack. Got my ass handed to me every time. So I could definitely tell that for some reason that's where all of a sudden they decide to ramp everything up to that higher level. So there are of course, there's the fan service that's all over there. There are shouts out to callbacks in some of the older games, as well as some of the older characters coming in with Akihiko, Mitsuha, and Aegis from Persona 3. So so fans of the older series won't be completely felt left out. They'll definitely be able to get some players in there. I'm not sure yet on the DLC or what's coming out from that to say. So I guess we'll have to wait, mix and match for time there. All in all, definitely I can see a lot of people having issues with some of the story modes and the talking and complaining about that. But once again, if you look right on the bottom bar, there is a lovely little prompt that says you can press R1 to skip everything, and it will take you straight to the fight. As a fighting game, this is really well done. I hope to see this at EVO. I really liked it. I really enjoyed this new system that Arc put out. I'm familiar with the other two systems, with the other two games they make with BlazBlue and Guilty Gear. I've played more Guilty Gear and I understand that system. I couldn't understand the BlazBlue one, and this has kind of a marring of both of them with burst and shield blocks and cancels and one more hits like that. So I really got into this one pretty well. I've already been over a friend's house to play this 3 nights in a row. So I'm really enjoying that. I definitely say for all fighting fans, go ahead, jump into this and see what you think of it. It's actually really, really good. I can't wait to see all the extra YouTube videos for the massively long, insane combos that is going to come out of this, for sure. For newcomers, yeah, I'd say go ahead and give it a shot, especially if you're a Persona fan. You'll most likely want to pick this up anyway because it is canon according to the company. So automatically right there, you're going to get it for that very reason. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask me now, since I noticed some from the gallery?
Peanut gallery over here. What's the animation like? Is it 2D or 3D?
It's 2D hand-drawn animations.
Through the entire thing?
Through the entire game.
That's
so when they're doing the...
Because I know, like, with Persona 4, like, the running around and stuff like that is all 3D, but the, like, conversations are 2D.
Yeah. They're doing all the talking. When they're doing all of the talking, there'll be the static images of the two characters. They will have... their mouths will move, and they'll do the standard swapping of templates to show changes of what they're kind of thinking and stuff. But, yeah, there won't be any of the RPG aspects of being able to have, the school life relationships and going around and doing stuff like that. So,
but I mean, like, even the like fighting animations, all 2D.
All 2D hand animations. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the classic Arc style system. I don't really, we'll say 3D animations are bad or anything for the fighting games. I prefer mostly always 2D animations. It's one of my more favorites, even though a lot of people say that it's really old or it's just not catching up, but they always look better to me than the 3Ds. So that's where I go for it. Either of you two?
Well, somebody's falling asleep over here, so
it's a fighting game. It's not his forte.
Yeah, sorry. I like fighting on hockey.
Buy, rent, or pass.
Like I said, definitely. I personally am gonna go pick this up after playing it. I had it pre-ordered, but I was still kind of shaky. But I'm
so
definitely...
you rented it or you borrowed it?
No, I went over to a friend's house to play it, and I've been over there 3 nights in a row, like I said. I'm definitely going to say buy for this. For fighting game fans, for Persona fans, even for just those who are looking to maybe try and get into something, I'd say definitely go buy this. If you might be... if you're on that level of, I'm interested in this, but I'm not the biggest fighting fan, if you really want to, you can wait for it to go down in price and pick it up. But for sure, I mean, if you are a fighting fan, it'll probably be in your roster of games to pick up and play.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
Because EVO has all these fighting games. Do you think this might be one of the
I definitely think
things that EVO might be picking up?
I want this to be. I definitely think it should. I'd hope to say they would, because they already do have BlazBlue in there. So, and just being another one from the Arc system guys, I definitely think they would put it in there as well.
For the unknown, is EVO like a fighting league?
EVO is the big fighting game tournament that takes place every year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
He knows. I don't know if you knew what EVO was.
I actually at one point wanted to have a get together at his house
like
so that we could watch
MLG,
it.
but MLG.
That's what I was wondering, if it was like a consecutive online group.
Yeah, basically it's kind of like how many do they usually hold a year? 3 or 4?
There's one EVO tournament a year, but there are there are all the multiple
and they have
sporadic
all the,
fighting tournaments all
yeah,
over
and they
the
have
world.
all
That's what I was wondering, if it was a singular thing or
Evo's the big one. Yeah,
Evo's
for
the
all
big
the
one.
champions and
Yeah,
stuff. Depending on what fighting game you play, you come together and you.
Yeah, it's like the World Series or anything like that. That's where
it's the
all
championships.
the greats come together.
And that happens in July.
Yeah.
So one just got done.
It's that time where a lot of people have that whole I don't like fighting games but I love watching them.
Yeah.
It's that thing like times 100.
Okay.
So you're just in awe of watching
Apparently,
these people
I've just
do
been
it.
missing out on something I'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
interesting in.
Yeah, just
Damn
go watch
moment.
videos of it.
Yeah, like I don't mind
even to
watching.
see its beginning conceptions of its birth. You can see the fan numbers start to go up, and then you just see that whole wave of.
Evo is free to watch online.
But do the players, do they stick to like one game, or is it like
Some players,
some do,
some
will
some are
advance
multiplayer.
as the new big fighting game comes out.
It's
I was
Marvel's
just wondering if they would have,
Capcom,
like, a
Mortal
tournament.
Kombat.
some players do
Blaze
play in the
Blues.
multiple session tournaments.
But what I
So
was saying, it'd be interesting to see like a tournament where it was the best of the best, and it was like you play 3 rounds, 1 round in this game, 1 round in this game, 1 round in that game.
that would actually be an interesting mix-up.
That's what G4 Arena used to do.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting mix-up. But some of the fighters do play in multiple tournaments. I mean, like the one guy.
With that freaking whacked out controller.
Yeah, I mean, he played in the Street Fighter, the Third Strike, and I think he played in the Blaze Blue tournament, all for that. So
G4 usually has a stream going on, and a couple other places usually has streams going on for Evo. And yeah, so.
One of the things G4 actually still has going for it.
sadly enough. Oh yeah,
Refreshing.
one of the characters, Teddy. Yes, his name is Teddy.
Okay.
He has an attack that looks like the drill call.
But
That's all we kept saying every time we played him. We were like, that cheap motherfucking ass attack.
Because it's not that I don't mind fighting games, it's just I don't know how to play them. We already saw what happened with Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
I'd rather
but if you
watch
actually
it.
took out the Call of Duty disc occasionally and put in the Street Fighter or the Mortal Kombat,
better.
I have
it's
Soul
practice.
Calibur and I have Tekken.
It's practice with repetition.
yeah.
I have
definitely
Soul
one of
Calibur
those.
and I have Tekken. I love Soul Calibur and I love Tekken. But I just cannot play Street Fighter. I cannot play Mortal Kombat. I can't play. Most likely I won't be able to play.
I just tend to lean away from competitive gaming, so I just never really got. I'm interested in fighting games. I just never. I'm a little more conscious about it, just because I just don't care about competitive gaming.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely in that genre of things that
And I do
it's
take
at
out
its
my
best when it's
Call of
about
Duty
fighting
disc
other
a
people.
lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But no,
And that, but with what you said it sounds like there's a lot of stuff to do outside of fighting.
oh yeah,
someone
you
else.
don't have to
So-
specifically just. They definitely took pains to not make sure that you would just be on the whole. Okay, playing the CPU in the main story, getting yourself up, and then going straight to online multiplayer to play against other people.
Yeah.
They gave you the challenge mode, they gave you the score attack mode, and then the story mode. So there's definitely other things to do in there to keep you occupied. Good stuff.
All right. Well, there you have it. And that does bring this edition of the Extreme Hardcore Nerds podcast to a close for this week. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Now, coming up next week, we have 2 big reviews. We have one of Darksiders 2.
Yeah, I'll be on
Dark-
there.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Never
doing it.
Never mind. Sorry.
And of
What's wrong with you?
and of course, we will have our review of Sleeping Dogs.
And you missed another review.
What's the third one?
Expendables 2.
Oh, yeah.
No!
yeah.
You should not have reminded him! You should not have reminded him!
He would have remembered.
I would have
we said
remembered
on
when I'm sitting in the
Saturday.
theater going, I can't wait to get into the studio tomorrow and start amping this up.
So are we just going to do a shorter news show and try and do reviews, or what's our plan, do you know? For everyone to plan for.
I would say just plan for a normal cast.
Plan
so-
for the
Big
pain.
Yeah.
All the pain.
And a long cast.
and
So
probably a
much
little bit
this.
longer because we are going to try and squeeze 2/3 reviews in there.
Okay.
Depending on who else all goes and sees the Expendables, we might do an afterthoughts on that, like we have our other 2 movie reviews. But we'll see what happens. But with all that having been said, you'll have to wait till next week to find out exactly what we do. And with that, I am, of course, your host, your all-knowing exalted one, your king of kings, Andy Kruger. And joining me this week...
I don't have anything else to say for that because it's just, yeah, that's how it is.
What's your name?
Dark. Stephen Creighton. That guy.
I would like to apologize for the mid-goat outburst in the middle of the show. I just couldn't contain myself. Gunner Sipper.
You disgrace all of us.
No, I don't.
I'm still trying to figure out why he doesn't live in Arkansas.
No. Have you ever been to Minneapolis? Montana is apparently the place I want to go because I see goats every day in Minneapolis.
Have I ever been to Minneapolis because Montana is the place I want to go?
It doesn't make sense, but we'll get to it.
And of course, last but not least...
Garrett.
The only one to do it right.
Peace!
Goodbye, folks.